Hello, lovely beings. Welcome to today's episode of Awaken Mindset. Tis I, your host and energy guide, Autumn Oakley. So, today's episode, I wanted to talk about energy depletion and how it is the clue and not a space to place blame. Now, naturally, when we are kind of coming into the realization of things, when we bring awareness to the truth of things sometimes in our environments, our careers, our relationships, when we're kind of recognizing the truth of things, we are going to fall victim to that, to really have to face that truth that perhaps we feel that people, situations, careers are the cause of us, feeling drained in energy. And to some extent, yes, it doesn't mean that you deserve to be treated poorly, but in the end, what is true is that we have free will. We are the ones who can take responsibility to make that change. And that's something I struggled with in the past is this victim mindset in regards to what I had been experiencing. And naturally, I think, in the process of healing, when you first kind of come to the truth of things, you're going to feel like a victim. You're going to come to this space of awareness of the truth of how you've been treated, to the truth of, what that has kind of put you into the space that you're drained, you're burnt out. It's leading to chronic illness in your mental, your physical health. And that is the thing that we have to face. But it is in us understanding that we accept this into our life. No matter how hard that is to hear, triggers lead to truth. And that is, what's been built into our society so much. And especially with, finances and, long-term relationships, that because we invested so much time, we don't know how to leave them. Because we feel like we don't have that financial freedom, we're scared to take that leap of faith to do what aligns with us. And we stay in the careers that lead us into burnout, that don't treat us right, but that will fire us on a whim. And that is the hard truth that we have to face a lot of the time, is we only are aware of what we're willing to face. We are only aware of the truth that we're willing to see. And that is, the element of awareness. That is the element of healing. That is the element of creating the reality, the life you want to be living, is that, if you want change, you have to face the truth of things, and that it all comes back to you. It comes back to yourself. And I know it sounds harsh. And I had to go through these realizations as well. And I didn't have this perspective years ago. But it's in doing the healing that you come to this space that, you do start to accept these things. You do kind of fall out of that victim mindset to understand, you can create whatever reality you want, but it will come down to a lot of healing for the first little while. So when you are feeling drained in energy, it's important to not stay stuck in this victim mindset of things. So you hear this all the time, especially when you're coming in the sense of spirituality and, these perceptions of energy vampires. I don't really like that term. Or people talk about, narcissists and all these things. And I get it. I've experienced it. But I don't like to hold things to an identity. I don't like to say that this person has these qualities, because if I'm drawing my energy and my attention to that, I'm continuing to manifest that. If I'm saying that these people are the ones draining my energy, I give them full control. And that's exactly what it is. When you say your mind creates your reality, that's what it is. So if you're holding beliefs and you're intentionally saying that, these people are the ones draining your energy, that's for you to understand, you're giving them that power. You're attracting that into your life, because your mind, your subconscious mind, is what creates your reality. So if you're having this story play on repeat that, you're looking for these energy vampires, you're actually intentionally trying to, seek them out to make sure that they don't affect you, you're drawing your attention and energy there. So they're going to manifest into your life until you can remove that to say, what? I am the one in control of my life. I am the one in control of my thoughts. I am the one who will no longer accept this in my life. And it's when you bring that to your awareness and shift these perspectives that I can honestly tell you, these types of characters that you feel were draining your energy, they no longer come into your life. They also, you may recognize it. You may recognize, a past, situation, a past character, a past person. You may recognize they have similar qualities, but you will recognize that when you truly take full responsibility for that, to say nobody has the right and nobody is going to, have that control over me. I get to decide my life. I get to decide, what is going to support my energy. You will see as that just shifts out of your life. And when you come across people like this, they don't even want to talk to you. They don't even come in your space, because our mind creates our reality. So when you hold these full identities of yourself, of boundaries, of awareness, of, the fact that you're not giving control, in the fact that people are going to, take your energy and that sort of thing. And I get it. I've experienced this in many different stages, many different perceptions, throughout my life. So I recognize, at different stages, I had this perception as well. But it's totally when I said, I'm not going to let my exterior world hold an effect to how I feel about myself. I'm not going to give control to the things that I have no control over. I'm deciding that I see what I see. I trust my intuition to leave a situation, to move away from a person, to trust my intuition to guide me to safety, to support. And with that, you just recognize it no longer comes into your life. You may have the odd situation where, you connect with someone, but you feel it, you know it. They also know it too. They don't even want to talk to you. They want to talk to the other people in the group. And you start recognizing you become a different self when you hold different beliefs, you hold that energy, you hold that identity, and everything starts changing your life in the most miraculous way. So that's what I wanted to talk about in regards to energy depletion and how it's a clue. And it's not a place to, place blame. Now, like I said, in the beginning, when you come to the truth of things of sometimes how you were treated in relationships, whether they were close, they were at work, it is a hard thing. We need to do the healing with that, to grieve those wounds. And it is really heavy. And naturally, for the first while on your healing journey, and this was me as well, you're going to fall into the victim mindset. And a lot of people say get out of the victim mindset. I say when you first come to the realization that you were a victim in situations, you need to be a victim. And I really promote this. And I'm not saying to stay there. That is the thing I'm saying to shift out of. But if we don't allow ourselves to fully accept the fact that we were victimized, that we were a victim in situations, we're not allowing ourselves to fully feel what needs to be felt for us to heal and grieve and then let go of that energy. If we just say, oh yeah, I'm fine, we're just repressing, which is the whole point of why so many of us in society and in life are really struggling on the healing process, is because society has been taught to repress our emotions. So we stay stuck in situations, we stay in relationships for prolonged periods of time. So when you are able to face the truth of things, you're recognizing that you're setting boundaries now, you recognize that, you're expressing yourself and what you need, but you're still recognizing people, situations, careers are just draining you. They're draining your energy. That's for us to recognize, we need to make those hard decisions, because not everybody is willing to shift and change. And people should not be changing for you. They should be changing for themselves. You expressing yourself in a kind, warm-hearted way, sharing what you need from a relationship, from a job, from a situation, and it's not being reciprocated time and time again. That is the clue we often don't want to face, but that's the truth we have to face, is that, okay, I need to shift things up. I need to take responsibility to understand that I am freaking powerful. I'm freaking limitless. Yes, you are. You can create any reality that you wish. And that comes with the healing process, so that we can step into that embodiment of ourselves. So when you first come to the realization of some hard truths, allow the victim mindset to be there. And I think that's a healthy thing for the first bit. I'm not saying to stay there. But what I am saying is you do need to feel and accept the fact that you were a victim in situations, and allow yourself to grieve that, feel that in the intensity that it is, so that you can let it go. Otherwise, you repress that and you hold on to those ties, and it, slowly, gradually affects you in your nervous system, in, your mental state. It manifests, illness in your body over time, because everything is energy. So feel what needs to be felt, grieve that, and then address the victim mindset. So in a time where you're feeling better, you're back, to a new way of living, a new perception, you're feeling a little better, that you can, let this element of healing go, then it's for you to address the victim mindset, which sometimes we get stuck in. Especially, I think, when we align onto a, conscious path, onto a spiritual path, a new perspective on life, is that sometimes, when we become aware, we like to hold on to things. Us as humans hate letting go. We hate letting go of things, so bad. So when we come to the realization and we're like, oh my God, that's where the term energy vampires and narcissists and, these people drain my energy, protect your energy. And I don't even like that saying, because your words are everything. Your words are like magic a lot of the time. And it's just, the element that words are the really, clear thing of, showing you what your belief systems are. The words, the phrases you speak, if you record it, throughout your day and listen back to it, it will really tell you the truth of what you believe, what it is you're speaking to existence, what it is that you view of the world and of yourself. And a lot of the time, things are amongst the darkness until we're able to face those truths. So if you're really struggling with that, you're really curious about that, I always recommend that to people. Just put record on your phone, go about your day, listen back to the audio, and see, how do you speak about people? How do you speak about yourself? And that was reflections that I do, time and time again when I feel I need to. But in the past, I recognized, I talk so poorly about myself, and I didn't know it. I wasn't aware of it, and no one in my, groups or relationships in the past really would tell me the depth of how little I thought of myself. And that's okay. We all need to bring awareness to different things, and take responsibility for that of ourselves. So that will really help you to just kind of gain clarity of the victim mindset, the beliefs that you're holding. Because sometimes when we're just blaming our exterior about these people drain my energy and all of these things, when you listen back to it, you can kind of say oh, I'm really blaming everything. I'm giving full control to everyone else, that they have control over how I feel in my energy, in my mindset, in my health, in my way of life. Because nobody should have control over that. But that's for you to decide. That's for you to say, nope, I'm the one in control of my life, my relationship, and my energy. So when we always kind of say these phrases protect your energy, protect, the word alone, really is in accordance to fight or flight, protection. Right? So I think just shifting that phrase, shifting that perspective, that belief to support your energy has truly changed my perspective on how I feel energetically in my body and just, my way of life. Just shifting that to support your energy from protect your energy, where we put up walls, we are not vulnerable in that sense. We're not always willing to face the truth of things in that state of fight or flight, that protection. When you just shift the word from protect to support your energy, it really just starts manifesting different in your life. That you get to say, hey, you know what? This is my new belief system. This is how I view and approach life in accordance to my energy, is that I choose what supports my energy. And you'll switch the perspective in conversations you have with people. You won't view it so much in a sense that you need to protect yourself from people. You'll view it in a sense what is helping to support my energy. And that's for you just to become the observer. When you're in, situations, careers, when you're at a party, when you're connecting with new people or just family members, when you're asking the question instead of, protect your energy, where you can get defensive and say, oh, these people, blah, 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 giving them full control, you really come to a space out of the fight or flight system of things into a space of calm that you get to say, okay, how does this support my energy? Is this supporting my energy? If not, what am I going to do about it? And that's, the self-reflection that we need sometimes. And that's just shifting my perspective in situations that I become the observer. I'm in a state of calm. I'm not so much in a state of I need to protect myself and run away or have an argument or set boundaries right away. Sometimes you don't need to set boundaries. If you've just met someone, you can just leave the situation, just say, pleasure to meet you. Okay, goodbye. We don't always need to explain ourselves. We don't always need to, explain. Trust your intuition and things. Sometimes people do need to hear the truth of things if they are unaware of how they show up in situations, perhaps because triggers lead to truth. But it's for you to also understand, sometimes people are not going to hear you. Sometimes when you're speaking and you're repeating yourself, people just cannot hear what you're saying, and that's okay. They're in their own space, they're in their own perception, and that's for you to recognize, this isn't supporting my energy, this is draining my energy, and it's not a reflection bad on them, but it's for me to say, I get to choose how to support myself. I get to choose how to support my energy in that way. So, am I going to set a boundary? Am I just going to leave? Am I going to say, pleasure to meet you, have a great day? In my work, am I always in burnout? What decisions am I going to make to support my energy? Am I going to have a talk with my boss about a raise, about the amount of work that I'm doing in comparison to everyone else? And, these different details. Am I going to ask for support from, my boss, from my work, my career in that way? And if that doesn't go as planned, okay, so my energy is not being supported in the way that I need it to, because I've already gained clarity of that. I've already asked from, a humble place, and it's just nothing's changing. Okay, now how am I going to support my energy? Because this is the new truth that I need to face, is that me understanding that supporting my energy, there needed to be a shift. There needed to be boundaries set. There needed to be a change in my pay. There needed to be a change in the amount of work I was doing, because I'm falling into burnout. It's not healthy. It's not working for me. Okay, I approach that, nothing's going to be changing in future. Now, how do I want to support my energy? Okay, now we need to face the hard truth of something else to say, what elements do I want to take in this moment now to support my energy? Do I want to take some time off just to self-reflect, heal myself, gain clarity, take a, sabbatical, vacation, just do that in that way because I do like my job and I just need to gain some clarity about what I want to do with it. Do I want to leave the job? Do I feel called to explore, something I've always wanted to do, a creative pursuit, something, take a leap of faith on that. Do what feels best to you, but that's for us to really gain clarity and understand what is going to best support my energy moving forward now that I've tried these different things and that part's not changing. And that's what it is. When you shift the perspective of placing blame on your exterior world and on other people that they have control over your energy and that they're draining it, you stop attracting that. You really hold that empowerment. You hold that energy that you don't attract the people who are draining energy. You don't attract the people in your life who kind of see that aspect of you that you're like, oh my God, give, or, those elements. So when you kind of shift that belief system, you recognize that starts manifesting into your life. You start manifesting different opportunities of people who want to grow with you, but also help to support you as you support them. You recognize that when you set boundaries, you also will meet people and connect with people who also like setting boundaries in a healthy way as well. Who you are is who you attract into your life, and that means that we need to constantly question ourselves. So shifting the perspective of protecting your energy to supporting your energy is honestly just going to help to shift so much in your life. And this is today's quick episode of my perspective and the things that I've experienced in shifting this way of life from trying to protect our energy, placing blame on people in our exterior world in regards to that, and just understanding that it all comes down to us. It comes down to us being able to accept that we are the ones who get to choose and change our reality and what we accept into our lives. So shifting that perspective from protecting ourselves to supporting our energy, it really just helps you to gain a different awareness, and it opens up your perspective on things. It gives you a bird's eye view that's very expansive and less limited to say these things affect me. And it switches the narrative, the scenario to say, okay, how can I expand? How can I shift my life, my reality of things I've yet to experience so that I support my energy in that way? It's such a different mindset. It's so much more expansive. It brings forth so much more opportunity and change that, you're willing to step into what's new, what's unknown, to kind of, test the waters to see, hey, is this going to support me in a better way than what I'm experiencing right now? And you get to try that. You get to say, oh my God, this is freaking awesome. I love this. And you'll see as well, as you start stepping into alignment of, what uplifts you in energy, what makes you feel safe in your nervous system, what makes you feel good and excited in life, you'll start attracting that in all areas of your life, in your relationships and opportunities that miraculously come your way, in your, connections, in your career that you're pursuing, that you love. If you're in a time of exploration, you'll notice new things coming in that you get to try that you've never tried before that you really enjoy. Everything in your life really starts shifting up in different ways when you are embodying that energy of authenticity and curiosity. So just shifting that perspective as well, it's just going to help you to kind of start manifesting that and experiencing that in your life, that you're going to really start to recognize and gain clarity of what actually is leading you into drained energy. Is it how you approach life? Is it the habits you're doing? Is it, these old ways of society of, hustle that you don't actually give yourself time to rest, to have fun? Life is short. Energy is the greatest currency that we have. And when we're living in alignment, when we're making those changes to switch things up, when we're living in an intention and a perception of ways to support and uplift our energy rather than to protect it in a state of fear and fight or flight, your life just shifts. Your life just changes. When you make decisions and you decide things, the universe responds to you, because I really believe in co-creation. Co-creation is how I view life. That, yes, we can say that miraculous things will come our way with the universe. And I experience this all the time. So many people experience this, way of living. But if we're giving the universe full control, then we're just kind of stuck in the unknown. We're lost. It's about setting intentions, not so much goals. Surrendering to the outcome of things, allowing the universe to bring in better things than our mind can currently perceive, because we only can perceive what we've seen and experienced up until this moment, which is why sometimes when things manifest into your life in the most, unusual way, it seems like true miracles a lot of the time. And it's just because you're a co-creator here. And it's not to say like you're not a co-creator now. You're a co-creator at all points in time in life. But what we're co-creating is in accordance to who we are. So when we shift the perspective of like this concept of, people draining our energy and energy vampires, we're co-creating always. So when we have these belief systems, we have these perceptions, we're co-creating that reality. We're attracting that into our lives. And I've noticed that as well. Is like when I lived in the fear, when I said, oh, energy vampires, when I would, say that these people drained me, when I was a victim, I attracted that. I continued to attract that until I changed myself, until I said enough is enough, until I said I have like the freaking limitless opportunity and energy to shift my life, to change my life, to choose. We have free will for this reason. And just what's been built in society, just because of the subconscious mind, because the mind really likes patterns and likes to play life on repeat. Sometimes I think we forget that we have free will to that extent, that we have the will to change. And I know that's a triggering message sometimes, but triggers lead to truth. And I've had this before where I talked about, free will, that we don't have free will. We have free will. But I think like when that triggers you, that's the thing to face, is like, that's your ego coming up. We all have free will. But if we're not changing our lives, that's for us to question, like, why do I feel stuck in this trap, this, cycle, this pattern of my mind that leads me into a state that I'm repeating a lot of the same, that I don't feel like I have free will to make a change. We like to really place blame on our exterior world. I don't have the money. Well, you don't understand my situation. And that's the victim mindset that we get stuck in a lot of the time. And that's the thing that drains our energy, is when we're stuck in patterns of the mind that have been built into society. It's not anyone's fault. It's just what's been built in for generations, that we often just perceive that we don't have control. We often view that we have free will, but we don't take action on it. And this is the perception shift that we need, because you are freaking limitless. You can create and co-create any life that you wish. We're always co-creating. But what we are co-creating a lot of the time are these perceptions that are not authentically us, that are these limited perceptions that have been built into society for generations, for a very long period of time. So it's for us to say that we have the choice to choose, that we have the power within us to change. And when you make these decisions, I can tell you, everything in your life just shifts for you in the most beautiful, miraculous way. And that's truly my wish for you. To live a life that is authentic and beautiful, new and exciting and full of miracles, and you stepping more and more and more to your soul's purpose, your highest timeline, your biggest dreams in life. Because I believe that we came here to live our dream. I believe that we came here to reach our highest timeline. But that does mean that we need to step into that embodiment of ourselves. That does mean that we need to shift our mindsets, our perspective of things, to take that responsibility to decide and choose how we want to view and approach life moving forward, and to choose to support our energy in all areas of our life, to uplift our energy, to help us feel calm in our nervous system, to shift the perspective from this fear state, this fight or flight state, that we need to protect ourselves from life, from situations, and just come to this space of wholeness, of peace, of love, of understanding that yes, we're always going to be posed challenges. Yes, we need to get uncomfortable in, certain situations and things that are going on in the world. I'm not saying that isn't valid. I'm not saying that isn't true. It is true. But when you choose to come to a space of supporting your energy, you do really recognize you hold a different power to make a change with these things. You don't really fall into the state that you feel like a victim to what's happening of your exterior world. You feel empowered to step into that change. You feel empowered, and you gain an authority of yourself to step into the limelight. You gain an authority of yourself to speak your truth, to make that change. The things that we fear a lot of the time are really just the perceptions that have been built in, to society. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode with that intense ending, and I am inspired by you and you pursuing your dreams and uplifting your energy in that way. Okay, keep shining lovely beans and know that I believe in you in your unique way.